Dear ladies and gentlemen, dear guests, so we have the honor today to be hosting the preliminary ambassador of the Slovak Embassy in Georgia, His Excellency, Mr. Rudolph Michalka. So he agreed to deliver a lecture for our students today concerning European Union and European integration. I hope that, and I believe that this lecture will be very interesting to you. You will ask them questions. Mr. Rudolph has a very little time, so about an hour. Please listen very carefully, and I hope you will ask very interesting questions. Thank you.
Well, welcome everybody. Thank you for coming in such a great number. I hope I can speak English. The other option would be Russian, but I prefer that English. And I'm happy that you understand. It's a good sign. Pardon me?
In this generation, they don't know Russian.
They don't speak Russian. But it's also not good. I prefer that you speak all languages.
Yes.
But anyway, English today. Yes, the Slovak Embassy is very new here. Just very briefly, I'm not going to talk a lot about that one. Just to say, we opened only 2 years ago in a very small number. But we deliver a lot of work here, mostly for development aid. So we try to develop your country, to help to develop your country, and also help to sustain your development on the way to European Union and North Atlantic Treaty Organization, NATO. This is our aim. We don't hide anything. This is what we want to do. This is what we do. And I'm here today I'm not going to try to persuade you to the European, NATO, or any of that business, because it is useless to persuade those who are persuaded. And I believe that the young generation is persuaded this is the correct way. Though not saying it's the only way for you. I always say the other time we were opening the NATO and Information Office, NATO and EU Information Office in Marneulu, and those were not younger people, those were mostly my and older generation. And I was talking to them why we opened the information center there on EU and NATO. And I said, look, you guys, you older generations, you may be sorry later, because your children will go abroad, will go to the West, and they come back. You come back and start to bug your parents. Why is it this way? Why don't we do it this different way? The older generation is already okay. You know, they don't want to change things very much. They're comfortable with their lives, which is normal. They have their families, their problems. They don't want to change the world. You do. You want to change the world. So when you go to Europe, you see some things that work better, and you want to change them here, and you add work to your parents. So they will not be happy. I warn you about that. And I tell them, look, you have two choices. You can go eastwards. You can go to the east. You can go to the west. What do you have in the east? In the east you have values. So they say, the Eastern values, your values, values that you've been cherishing for hundreds of years. This is why the Georgians are so proud nations, to keep the values, family values, the values between people, historical values, your territory, all that. Or you can go to the West. And they say the West has different values, the Western liberal values. Those are not very much in connection with the Orthodox, old values that you have. Or you can choose which one you want, right? What I'm saying is, only fools don't change their ideas. Do you still have the same values, the same traditions that you had during King David or Tamar? You don't. For years, for hundreds of years, you lost that. And what happened? Here you are. This is your society. Every society develops, evolves somehow. You develop. So do it. This is my opinion. Do it and change your opinions. Change the way you please. Not what your parents told you. Do what you want. Do what you believe in. And if it is the Western value, maybe that one. If it's some of the Eastern values, maybe that one. But don't take for granted everything on the West is good, everything on the East is good. This is all up to you where you want to go. What I'm going to tell you today is about, very quickly, is our way, the Slovak way, how we did it. Slovakia lies in the center of Europe, We are surrounded by northeast Poland, and there is the Czech Republic, Austria, Hungary, and on the east it's Ukraine, the only eastern country, so to say. Slovakia lies in the center of Europe, so the traditions and everything are connected deeply with the traditions of Central Europe, so we are deeply rooted in Europe. Though for many years, 40 years, we were under occupation, under Russian occupation, which is true. We're the so-called communist, socialist country, right? We had a revolution in 1989. We got rid of communism, a nice way, let's say. That's what we call the Velvet Revolution. Maybe you all heard about that in Prague, that time in Czechoslovakia. We had the Velvet Revolution, so it was a non-violent revolution against the communists. We took power, the Democrats took power, and ever since on, we were trying to build a democracy. We were ups and downs, not going up toward democracy, no way. Slovakia didn't go that way. In 1993, there started to be problems between the Czechs and the Slovaks. Problems meaning jealous, looking badly at each other, so the relations were not so good. And it was an obstacle of the EU, because we all wanted to be part of the European community. So we decided to depart from each other. 1993. We did, and again, it was the velvet divorce, as they call it, right? Nobody noticed. Everybody still, for years and years, said Czechoslovakia doesn't exist anymore. We said no, it doesn't. So it's a good way to do it. Good way to divorce, to split. Yeah, we're not very violent nations, so Czechs nor Slovaks. And the funny thing is, after this divorce, the relations got much, much better. We are really the best friends now in Europe, let's say the Czechs and Slovaks, which is funny, and everybody keeps asking me, so why did you divorce? I say, I don't know, well, just, sometimes it's better to go apart and then you find yourselves. And we did. So from 93, we started to apply for European Union, and then there was the association agreement, blah, 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 all that. And again, Slovakia got a very favorable government at that time that was, again, looking at the east a little bit and saying, hey, if you don't want us in the west, we go to the east. So we're not very happy. Those liberal people as me were not very happy about that. But then again, we got through that bad period of politics, and from 1998 we really went up through straight to the European Union structures. Well, it all started in 1993, and in 2004 we finished the process and became the members of European Union and NATO community. Where are you now in this process? Will you just, this year and last year, you have two great standpoints. One of them being the association agreement. I hope some of you or many of you are economists or understand a little bit of economy, what's going on. So last year you signed the association agreement, DCFTA. That's a free trade agreement that is being actually coming into power this year. These two important documents. And the second thing is that you all probably are waiting for is the visa liberalization. Everybody open ears, because yes, this is what you want to hear. Yes, visa liberalization is a very attractive matter to discuss, and I'm not going to. Because I say it is important, but not as important as the first thing that I mentioned, the association agreement, DCFTA. What happens when we open the borders, hopefully in summer, I do hope, you take your passport, you go to Slovakia, Germany, Portugal, wherever you want to go. Hopefully you spend 1 or 2 weeks, look around, come back. What happens? You've seen a country, you spend a lot of money. So, but with the association agreement, DCFTA, this is how you make money. If you are smart enough, if you finish this university and take a lot of knowledge from here, this is how you become a businessman or do a business with the West, with whoever you wish. This is what enables you to trade with the West without the burdens, without the additional taxes and all that. So that is why the association agreement, DCFTA documents are so important for your country, that you develop and evolve later on so that your country becomes stronger and more ready to, in one day, become a member of the EU. Because association agreement, I have on table here which I will not show you, but anyways, I can read it from you. It says the table says the benefits of the association agreements for the countries that are members, and it's a very interesting table. It's not only benefits. That's the funny thing about this chart. There are some countries that show minus numbers after they entered the association agreement in the CFTA, and there are some countries that show surplus, plus. So the entry into this system helped them economically. So, who are those countries that did not profit from those? Well, I'll tell you exactly. It's Croatia, Bulgaria, Romania. Which one is there? Hungary, Estonia. Why? Why is it that they entered a system where they don't pay the taxes, where they freely trade? But freely trade means not only sell, also to buy or import all of those. Those countries were not ready economically. The competitiveness between the companies was not on the level so that you win on the international markets. That means more you sell than you buy. So what happened in those countries, obviously Bulgaria and Romania were not very ready for that. It was more a Greece, okay, I'll check it out. I'll be talking, I'll tell you. So those countries were not ready, economically for that. And that applies to you too. So if you say, we're gonna now grow only, I always say, no, you might even fall. But even the fall is not bad for you. Even the fall is not bad for you because by falling, you learn what to improve. And actually, the ECFTA is all about improving. This is why my embassy is here. We are here to share our experience, to give you knowledge what we did. Learn from what we did good, but learn from what we did wrong also. Because a lot of things we did wrong. A lot of things, trust me. We're also not that prepared, although we have the plus one here on this one. You in Greece, you can't see. Does Greece exist? Anyway, I'll find it. So what I'm saying is, this is the time that hurts the most. The companies. Imagine, you have a company, you're owner of a company of this water, right? You produce this water. So what do? You come to the source, you bottle it, some bottles, whatever they are, and sell it to the market. Now, okay, there's no problem in Georgia, probably. If there's no competition, you grow, because you just sell as much as you want, right? But now, you want to grow. That means grow internationally. So, you want to enter the EU markets, which is obvious, right? Russian market is not like that, because the norms are very low. EU norms are very high, ISO 2009, you know. So, the bottle has to be proper, not to be bad for your health. The water has to have certain quality, you know, right? Maybe you're not there, so what you need to do is improve. How you improve? You probably buy better technology to produce first. More quality, cleaning, and all that. And you also, all the dump you cannot put in the water, you cannot make the water dirty, right? Now you have to have a filter. That goes millions, right? So first you have to spend. When I spend my money as a company, what do? Okay, you all work for me, right? You have 20 people working there. Well, but I'm going to spend millions, so I'm sorry, I got to cut you half. So half of this table goes, and it's no employment for it, right? It's on the street. So that part is hard for you, and we went through that. Trust me too, in the 90s, right? There was unemployment, hardships. The companies were saving, but installing some money to sell more. But at a certain point, they start selling finally the product, right? So making the money back. So making money back means I can hire more people, make my company bigger. That's probably pretty much the system of the free market economy. So I warn you, again, this Europe thing is not only beautiful day as today, all sun. No, it's also cloudy. It's also cloudy and difficult. And some companies may not survive. And actually many of the companies may survive. Less here, because here there's not too many companies. And that's the thing. So what I hope from DCFTA and association agreement that the investment come. What you need is investment. You need foreign money, basically. There's no money here. So you need foreign money to invest, to come here. For that you need education again. Do you have a proper education? I don't think so. I think your schools just produce lawyers and administration stuff and all that. You got plenty of that. But you don't have technicians. You don't have engineers, proper engineers. You don't have people who can build these kind of houses in a proper way. Not those guys who sit under that bridge and are ready to do anything and not do a job because nothing is quality. So this is all that has to improve in the country, right? In a country like this, that you also have to look at your, and actually the Prime Minister, I heard him talking about this a lot, and I think he's on the right way about this. And he wants to cut the number of the universities or higher education and just focus on the quality now, on those fields that you need to develop. And again, I don't know what you guys studying, but think twice what you study. Think if there is a market for you. Because when I was hiring my secretary, I'm sorry, there was like 500 applicants. 500 applicants for one post at my embassy. And most of those ladies were educated there and sitting home for 2 years doing nothing. So I don't envy this part. It is difficult, but I see there are certain departments that should be filled by young people like you, and they should educate them those fields that need to be. Because if the automobile industry starts working here, they want to open a plant for cars. Who will work there? I mean, those are really people. They don't need to be people who are educated in engineering. Not people from the street or with basic education. So that's pretty crucial. Why am I saying the automobile industry? That's an example from Slovakia. Slovakia is a country of 5 million people. Today, okay, it's a member of EU and NATO, that is partly how we attract it, because it's a stable economy, stable politically, but also not the most rich state in Europe, no, not at all. But what we had, our power was in engineering. We had a lot of engineers, very smart people in the age of that time, 80s, 40, 50, and 60. Who were still working, those people were skilled, right? So the first factory, first plant, Volkswagen was based in Bratislava. By the working force that was quality, it became one of the most quality factories for Volkswagen in the world. What happened later? We first produced only Skoda cars, but what later happened, now we produce Volkswagen Touareg, which you know is a high-value car, and Porsche Cayenne, for example, right? And those cars are producing the best factories. So that was the first one. And then what happened came the second one. And it was, I believe the second was in Žilina, it's central Slovakia. That was Kia Hyundai. Now we have two companies. Wow, okay, how are we going to do it? We need some more people. Well, they facilitated a lot of people, right? What happened then in a couple of years was third company opened. That was Peugeot Citroën. So we got 3 companies now, and suddenly, somehow, plus Ford is making transmissions, but that's not a full-fledged factory. Suddenly, Slovakia became the superpower for car making, and believe me or not, Slovakia is #1 in the world in production of the cars per capita. #1 in the world. How this happened, we don't know. Well, we know. It happened by the incentive of the government. The government has to attract somehow. You have to think how to attract me. You have to think what I like in your country. Either I don't pay taxes for 5 or 10 years, whatever. It's a huge money if I don't pay taxes. I know, you're losing a lot. But you have to think twice. Is it good for me, for the country that I don't pay? Because you have not been working for 2 years, you lose the working habits. I employ you, I pay your tax, I pay all these things that, your pensions and all that. So maybe it's a good thing, how to try to give up something from the revenues and to give on the other side. And what happened this year? End of last year, the Jaguar Land Rover, the Jaguar car, announced that they will again make a plant in Slovakia. So we got not 3, but with 4 automobile companies in Slovakia. What this example? I'm not saying this to say how good we are. No. I'm saying this as an example of something that can happen to you. You start with a plant, with a factory of one kind, and the others will follow. But you need to find yourself. What you're good at, what you can do. Today you have more than 50% of agriculture here. That's way too much. We say over 5%, it's devastating for economy. You know, 52% of this. And whenever businessmen from Slovakia come here and they ask, so we want to invest, what should we do? And they say, oh, we got agriculture, great. And, you know, nobody got ever rich from agriculture, I'm sorry. You know, except for the Dutch and the Spanish, but they don't do it the right way, I think, because they don't produce the proper stuff. Anyways, so what you need to switch a little bit. You need to change your economy from agricultural to industrial, definitely. Otherwise this country will never get rich. This is what I believe, and I can see it. And that's why the government should work on incentives and think how to attract the foreign capital, foreign companies to come here, invest, and produce. You need to produce. Well, they are in a good way. The Ministry of Economy has this plan, producing Georgia. If I invest $1 million, I get a 20% back. I think it's the right way how to do this, and hopefully in the long run. So, I don't know, I could talk a lot more about things. I hope I just you got a picture what I wanted to say here, you know, what is important also for young people as you, also for your country. I don't have a watch here how much time I spend on this one. Anyway, I'd be happy to answer any questions if you have, and we can just talk more about this.
What is the first case for the countries who will give us advantage in the European market? It's not easy to say that we have possibility. Everybody knows about this. There are many possibilities, but how get this one? Where is answers to this? I don't know.
What you basically, I know what you say. Well, I partly was talking about this one. Your economy is very small, as you know. It's a very small economy. It's a developing economy, and it is agriculture oriented, as you know. These are the truth. So let's take this fact: lack of capital, lack of cash flow, probably here. Too large part of the agriculture, too little part of production. You don't produce basically. So like I'm saying, well, one thing is because the things can be done only after elections, right? Before elections, nobody will take anything. We're talking subsidies for agriculture, right? Now that's a perfect thing to go, but if you do it in a large scale, do the subsidies for everybody, it's probably not going to work. So again, I would probably focus your agriculture to certain products. Those products that are high value products. And I tell you, high value products. I was in Marnouli, and I said, you know, potatoes and all these things. Well, I look at your potatoes, and I say, oh, we have the best potato, you have everything best. Right? That's something that you have commonly with our meetings, they also like the best. Did you have good potatoes? You can have maybe the best in the world, who knows? But you don't have the facilities to store them, right? So when I buy potatoes on the market, they're frozen in November and October, in December, because you don't have those facilities. So probably somewhere is something wrong. Then you produce a lot of grapes. What do you do with the grapes? Some you sell, some not, and then it goes rotten. So what you need is probably somewhere you make the juice, you preserve. You protect these for the next year, for the next season when it gains the value, or you make exactly. So you don't have this part. So probably the government should look at this, what to do with those vegetables and fruits that you produce, but they get lost because you don't have these facilities. You don't have factory to do something with it, the juices or anything. We've been looking at this actually, and we will have a business mission in May, and we'll be talking to those people. This is what you lack. You lack in logistics, not logic. Logistics, sometimes logic, but logistics. That means, example, over here is a Carrefour, right? There's Carrefour Narwan, and there's one in Batumi, but where's the where's the hardware? Where do you store, where do you have one huge hardware where you put everything and centrally from there you distribute? You do not have that. You do not, you lack this, and it's huge money, of course. But you need a company to bring from the West that gives you this logistics, one hardware. Why? What happens if you don't have? I'll tell you what happens. Go and shop. One day, coconut milk. I was looking for coconut milk. They had it 1 month, second month, the third month it's not there. Why? Because the car comes full of this coconut milk from somewhere, from the Netherlands, they bring. This is how much you have. They sell in all the Carrefours. When it's gone, it's gone. So it doesn't mean that a lot of it comes, you store it, and from there you distribute whenever it's needed, right? You don't have this system yet. So it's a primitive system, basically. It's very primitive. Whoever brings whatever from the West, from the East, from Russia, whatever, it sells. If it's gonna be there next month, I don't think so, because you have to wait for another car to come again, sometimes in 3, 4, 5 months, right? So these are the things that needs to be developed. Those are very particular things. You're talking bigger scale. You're talking how to bring up economy to certain level, to be working economy. And this is when I say the incentives are very important. This is what we did. One is incentives. Second is industrial parks also. Why should I'm making telephones, all right? I want to get telephones. Why should I come to this? There's a nice field out here. Why should I come there? There's no infrastructure, no nothings, and I'm paying high taxes here probably. Your working power, okay, it's low because that's why I should come here, because I don't pay too much on wages. So there are some pluses too. I can say that it's minus. But why? What more? What more do you give me? So you give me you call it the tax holidays, 5, 10 years, whatever. Okay, I start thinking. I have low salaries here, good. I have tax holidays for 5 to 10 years. You give me this one, okay? I pay only €1. I pay only €1 for this plot of land, and I make my factory here for these telephones, right? Good. So it's a bargain. What do I get? What do I get? I was first time diplomat in '98 in Cyprus, and I remember somebody from the Czech Republic at that time was having a speech there about industrial parks. That time I didn't know what it was. Industrial park is a huge plot of land where government brings water, electricity, roads, all you need, all the logistics, and so it's all ready. The plot is probably for free or a very low price or something. So I go there. It's an incentive for me to come there because it's all together, right? It's pleasant to make business there. This is what you like. You need to start making industrial parks. They are connected with the highways. Yeah. If you don't have highways, you need to really be quick with your highways. I believe there is a plan until 2020-22 to finish the highway to Batumi at least. So there's many things to do. Many things that you can do, and I advise you, do not invent. Go there, go to West and look what we did, learn from what we did wrong, and learn from us. It's no use to invent anything that has been already invented a long time ago before us. Long time.
I have done long-term observation of agriculture, and I'm sure that all money which was spent for agriculture in last periods is absolutely waste of times and money. But when society think about and hear about subsidies, everybody support of this action of government. But it's not solution. Everybody knows it's not solution. It not matter how much you spend for agriculture, because there are not effective spend of money, there are not results, there are not productivity, but it is good for government before election. I think it will be very good if from outside, from abroad, somebody say to government, stop this kind of action. Yeah?
I would disagree that all the money was spent wrongly. I mean, I've seen some examples that you have vineyards and yes, you need pesticides, chemical stuff for keeping the bugs away from them. So no, there are certain good examples how we did. I agree with you. The small guy wants to make his vineyard and gets subsidies for the roots and everything. And then for a year or two it works, and I see then it just doesn't in the long run, because some people are not going to do that, and it for 1 or 2 years it really is not productive. I don't have a really I mean, I'm not expert on your agriculture. I see what's going on here. So I say, focus on things that you can sell, that you are good at. You have really excellent vegetables. You do have high quality vegetables. But how do you want to sell them if you cannot store them somewhere? Before you ship them to Europe, now you can with this association agreement, you can do it, right? We opened your market. It's not easy to get on the markets, but if you're good enough, you can do it. But where are you going to store this? So you have to think of those facilities. It's not cheap, I know. But maybe do cooperation with the European producers. There's always way. If you have a good business plan, you have to make a good business plan.
Is the only problem economic, or we have also other problems? For example, other barriers to become the members of the European Union. Maybe this is democracy or what?
Once you become associate member, it's called acquis communautaire, it's a French word. Those are actually over 27 to 30, I think, points, the chapters. Basically, you probably heard of acquis chapters that need to be fulfilled. And yes, you are correct. Those are all obstacles, basically, on the way to European Union. We were fulfilling these chapters for years, one after the other. Turkey has been negotiating since 2005. Actually, Turkey applied to EU in 1960s or sometimes, if I'm not mistaken, 60s. Imagine, Turkey is applicant in 1960s. But starting with this acquis as an associate member of 2005, and has closed only a few chapters. Why? Exactly what you say, political reasons. Because certain of them are political. In certain chapters, they don't want to close. Close means fulfill. They don't want to. Why? Because it's not comfortable for the government, Government don't want to give up certain rights that has upon the people. Especially those more, don't get me wrong, dictatorial kind of government. They don't want to give up certain power upon the people. Right? I'm not saying on this one. Actually, Georgia is the only really fully democratic country in this region, which is true, which is why we are here, which is why the embassy of the United States is so big here in this country. Because it's a strategically placed in South Caucasus, true. And you are a democracy. You're not a perfect democracy, so we are not. Trust me, we are not also. I had judges coming to Slovakia the other year. And I said, so what did you learn? He says, well, we learned that even you have something to learn from us. And I get it. It's true. It's true. So we're not perfect also, even though we are members. So do not worry about that you are perfect or not perfect. Probably you will never be perfect. Is Netherlands perfect these days? Is Belgium? Is, I don't know, Portugal? Is it Greece? Come on. Give me a break. No, we're not perfect. But there are certain rules that we should obey. And if we don't obey in EU, then everybody has the right to point at us. You do this. You have to do this because you are a member of our family. And if you are associate member, if you want to become part of us, then we have the full right to tell you how to drive on the street, everybody, how to drive on the street. Don't do the full things like as you do every day here. Keep your rivers clean, because if you want to be our member, we want your products to be clean also. Because if you offer us water, then we want to drink this water clean, not dirty. And all these things, air, and all that, So it's all connected. So to come to EU is not about entering EU. The more important is the path to EU, because on the path you fulfill the obligations. That means clean water, clean food, good food, quality. Whatever you produce doesn't fall apart tomorrow. If I buy this telephone, within 2 years I can bring it back because it's fault. When I buy my shoes, I can bring it back within 2 years because they fell apart. Here you cannot do it within 1 week. The way to EU is more important than entry. Trust me, if you are at the end of this path, you say, I don't care if I enter EU or not. We're fine already?
We know that our parents in last years could be traveling in the world, so this generation has problem about it. We have to have many money, to traveling. We have to have visa. So what we have to do to change this situation?
This procedure is in the European Parliament at the moment, as a matter of fact. The Commission has ruled that you will not have visa with Schengen countries, okay? So it is a ruling of the Commission, which is the main body, right, of the European Union. Then is the Council and all that, the Council is the Council of Ministers and all that, so they have to fulfill the obligation. So, in other words, it has already been decided in December, okay? This has been decided. That's why you had all the celebrations in, I believe it was 10th of December or something. That's why. So it has been decided. Now is the legal procedure, right? There are some voices that Netherlands said something, no, let's do it after elections, before elections, no matter what. Slovakia will be the president country of the Council from July. Slovakia will be for half years. You know, we take the presidency rounds for half a year. Slovakia will be July until December. I do hope, for my own good, that we say in summer, Slovakia will be one who announces visa-free regime for Georgia, hopefully, right? 90%, let me take this one. But there might be a chance that, okay, they do it after your elections in October. It doesn't matter, okay? It's July, August, October, November, doesn't matter. It will happen, and I believe it happens this year. So what happens is you just, whatever, take your money, buy a ticket, go to whatever, Czech Republic, Slovakia, take off and, show your passport and you're in, You can stay there up to 3 months. You cannot work. You cannot legally work. If you get your work legally somehow, that's a different story. But you cannot work. You can visit us. You cannot work with us.
Without presenting any documents, additional documents.
There's one document, your passport.
Once I read in internet that we have to present the same documents as we have to present in the embassy. Yes, I read it with my own eyes.
Okay, I'm telling you.
Maybe
I know what is a visa-free regime is. A regime without visa, with your valid passport. That's it. That's it. No more words about it. This is how it is. That's how it is. Yeah, Land Rover came to Slovakia now, and actually they already have, and I know that, they have visited in the nearby town, and in Bratislava also, special, even high schools, where they already educated, those students in engineering, and high schools of all over. Never mind. But they already established a new cathedral for, departments for, like here. You say like here is, it's easy, no way, not today, it's all science. So for like here's, I don't know what kind of specialties so that it's very good when the company comes and talks to you. So make sure that if any company comes here, you talk with them and try to make a partnership with them. Try to say, okay, we can have a partnership and educate people for you, and they straight from your school they can find employment. I cannot tell you that it will work, that you will educate them and the company comes. I cannot guarantee, of course. But without this, it's impossible.
Okay, maybe that didn't matter what maybe it was very interesting.
Thank you very much. I love this.
For me too. My English is very bad.
No, it's very good.
But I understood. Okay, I hope that it is first visit, not last.
Inshallah.
Inshallah.
Thank you very much, all of you. You're great.